5-game road trip. They have to make it up next week in Charlotte, New York, when they take on the Knicks, Nets, and of course the Hornets here. Monty Poole, our Warriors insider here on NBC Sports. I'm rattled right now. I'm rattled.
Come on, let's get this together, man.
NBA champion, Festus Ezeli. I am Bonte Hill. I am rattled right now after the Warriors failed to win their 6th in a row, which would have been a season high. But the non-Steph minutes tonight, minus 19, and too many turnovers down the stretch there, and they fall to the Sixers, who give them credit. They were hungry tonight on national television.
Well, the Philadelphia 76ers are one of the worst offensive teams in the league, and tonight the Warriors just let the role players get crazy out there. Quentin Grimes, Kelly Oubre, former Golden State Warrior Kelly Oubre, really led the charge in the first half for the Philadelphia 76ers. The Warriors really had Steph, really the only person going in the first half. What do you have in the first half?
He had 19 points. The other 4 starters had 17.
17 points, and so the Warriors were really struggling to get going. Steve Kerr tried different lineups. Even to start the game, this is the 34th different starting lineup the Warriors have had. Yeah. And Steve Kerr kept trying to plug and play different guys, different positions. Just wasn't enough. And the Warriors, they wish they can get back at least 11 layups tonight. They missed so many different layups. Yes, you gave up these points. Yes, your defense let you down. But the layups, that one is hard to imagine, Monty.
Layups have been a season-long problem, though. Admit it.
It's hard to deal with that one.
But yeah, as the season goes on and you get down to the final 6 weeks of the season, you can't be missing layups. But tonight, you understand why they went after Jimmy Butler. You understand why they paid him as much as they paid him. Because this is what you saw a lot of before he came. You saw Steph take a seat, and all of a sudden the offense would just go flat. And the same thing happened tonight. They were up 6 when Steph took a seat. They were down 5 when he came back. And so, and then they tied it again, but they didn't take over. You know, they didn't have command early, but the bottom line is that you want to make sure your team has a chance to win every game, and you want to make sure that you can have a chance to win in non-Steph minutes. The first thing Steve Kerr said when he got Jimmy Butler said, he's going to play all the non-Steph minutes. Then there was the one game when he didn't do that, and the team made a comeback. I think it was Houston, made a comeback, and he said, okay, I'm going back to Jimmy with all. Well, tonight, no Jimmy at all. So the non-Steph minutes were up to everybody else, and nobody came through. And so you look at this game tonight, and you miss all the layups. You look terrible in the non-Steph minutes. You add it up and you lose a game.
Minus 19 in the non-Steph minutes in the first half. They're up first quarter, they're up 30-24. Steph exits the game with about 2:07 left in the first quarter. He returns to the game 7 minutes and 21 seconds later. Next thing you know, the Warriors are down 5 as they scored only 7 points in 7 minutes and 21 seconds. And they fall to 1-22 when trailing after the third quarter. That's a problem they have to rectify down the stretch here. But let's pick up the tape, crunch time tape here, as the Warriors did fight back. And they used a 9-0 run to tie it up at 116. You see Guy Santos here with a nice little finish. He played well off the bench. Guy Santos, 14 points, 6 of 8 from the floor. Nice hustle plays, deflections, 4 rebounds as well as he fell.
Great pass right here for GP2, who had a game tonight.
Yes, he did.
Him and Steph together, they definitely have an incredible chemistry. It just wasn't enough because this guy right here, Quentin Grimes, that point of attack defense was not on him tonight because it was on Tyrese Maxey and Paul George the whole night.
Yeah, how about Yabusele, your boy from France? 18 points off the bench, 5 of 7 from the three-point line. He had timely 3 after timely 3 all night long. But Quentin Grimes, you mentioned Kelly Oubre Jr., who the Warriors didn't want. It was a revenge game for him, basically.
They didn't want you.
They scored 35 points in the first half combined. Paul George actually only had 3 in the first half, but that was a tough finish right there. But here's the play. Oh, foul right there on Draymond Green. The Warriors were challenged, but the challenge was unsuccessful. Yeah. And more importantly, it burned their last time out, Monty.
Yeah, you know, and you look at that play. Now, I'm not sure why they challenged it. You know, Draymond must have been very forceful. But when you look at the replay, you can see that this wasn't one of those kick-out situations. And so, and they could really have used that timeout.
This was the shot of the game. PG, Paul George right there, Monty.
That was a night shot.
He scored 14 of his 17 in the second half, and the Warriors dropped this one to the Philadelphia 76ers, who are 1-10 in the month of February. But it is March Madness now, right? So it's a new calendar. They're looking to get into that 10th spot. But the Warriors had an opportunity to move up 2 games on the Dallas Mavericks, and they blow that here, so they'll have to bounce back Monday against the Hornets.
You wasted some really good play by Steph and Gary Payton II. I mean, I thought GP2 was huge in this game, and the one thing I was surprised by is that Steve Kerr stayed with him on Maxey. and Grimes was running wild, and nobody could stop Grimes. Would you have switched it? I mean, you had to think about that. You know, Maxey was cold.
Right.
He hadn't shot well the last game, so he stayed with him on Maxey. Maxey never got going really, but Quentin Grimes was smoking him, and nobody really could stop him.
Makes you think like Dallas traded him away for Caleb Martin.
I was just about to say that, Bonte. Man, Nico Harrison's watching this like, oh, man, these fans are about to be on me again. Quentin Grimes, tonight, coming off the bench, he was terrific. You know, his speed, his athleticism. You said that from the first possession of the game. He drove by somebody. I think it was Quentin Post to start the game.
Yeah,
Like, it's going to be a tough matchup. He's got speed, he's got size, got athleticism. He missed some tough free throws, which could cost him at the end of the game. But at that point, he already had 40-plus points. He did his job tonight. Going against the third-place defender. The Warriors right now, they miss Jimmy Butler, but they also miss Jonathan Kuminga. These are two of their top defenders, and not having them tonight hurt. Obviously, Jimmy Butler's presence in the paint, that's one thing. The Philadelphia 76ers outshot the Warriors' free throws. More attempts, 11 more attempts tonight than the Warriors. That was one thing. That's the Jimmy Butler presence thing as well. But the defense, that's one thing. The Warriors, they lost a little bit of that swagger. They got to get it back if they're going to go.
Well, they also, tonight, I thought there were too many times when they didn't look agile on defense. They didn't look agile. And you mentioned the play at the beginning of the game when Quentin looked like he was stuck.
Right.
You know, and so, again, Jimmy Butler's a different dude. And if he's out there, you know, those layups and those paint forays aren't as easy. So they've been doing pretty good on the point of attack defense. And Maxey did not hurt them. That was the main guy you worry about. But Quentin Grimes was shooting inside, outside, all three levels. He got going.
Okay, I'll say this. In all the middle of everything, I loved the fact that Quentin Post, Moses Moody, Gary Payton II, all these guys got really big minutes tonight. Without Jimmy Butler, there's a lot of minutes available for guys. They played crunch minutes, and that's going to be really key for them. There's some mistakes made at the end of the game. Draymond tried to pass it right back to Guy Santos at the end of the game. Those are little plays that the guys are going to learn from that they're going to use in the future. But without Jimmy Butler, this guy's going to have to figure out to play the non-Steph minutes better.
Without Jimmy Butler, really did the Warriors in. And on that 17-2 run, the Sixers went on in the second quarter. Again, the non-Steph Curry minutes, they were minus 19 tonight when Steph Curry wasn't on the floor. And this is where the Sixers took control of this basketball game, and they led the rest of the way. Yeah. They go up here, and they built a 15-point lead midway through the third quarter. They ended the first half up 12, and this is when they got rolling, Monty.
Yeah, you look at this, and you know, I think it's give Warriors credit. They never stopped, but every time Steph went to the bench, you saw what happened. And so he probably rested shorter than he normally would, certainly in the second half, but you had to have him out there because the Sixers kept, every time he went to the bench, that lead did like this. And so tonight, it's one of those games when you look back and you go, well, yeah, we missed a bunch of layups. And I mean a lot of layups. And some of those layups were uncontested. I mean, Draymond missed at least three that were right there and nobody defending him. So, but there were some mistakes late in this game too. I mean, Buddy Hield, you know, going over to defend somebody he's double teaming a guy in the corner when he left somebody open. Yeah, you don't do that, you know. And so there's some mistakes you make, and in the end, you know, the Warriors, they asked for this loss.
Yep, no doubt about it. Quentin Grimes, that's why they lost. He had a career high 44 points, 18 to 24. He was 8 of 9 in the first half, and he kept it rolling.
Đón chào các bạn đến với kênh YouTube của mình. Bây giờ mình sẽ đi tô màu để cho các bạn cùng xem. Trên tay mình đây là những sản phẩm mình đã in sẵn để mình tô màu. Mình sẽ tô những bức tranh thật đẹp để gửi tặng đến các bạn. Và không thể thiếu đó là chiếc điện thoại để mình quay video, giá đỡ điện thoại, và đây là bút sáp màu. Bây giờ mời các bạn cùng theo dõi quá trình mình tô màu. Và mình mong rằng các bạn đừng quên ấn like và đăng ký kênh để ủng hộ mình. Cảm ơn các bạn rất là nhiều.
Tiếp tục đói cấm một chả vào rồi đi. Tiếp tục tô màu nhé.